Forget about worrying about TikTok, Donald Trump. The thing you should be worrying about is Deepseek. Deepseek, a new artificial intelligence startup owned and controlled ultimately by the Chinese, who just announced 72 hours after Donald Trump's much fanfare $500 billion investment in AI infrastructure to make the U.S. the #1 AI capital of the world. They announced that they matched all of those big, giant tech bro companies on a $6 million investment in 2 months' time. That means cheap artificial intelligence coming to you from China just in time to cut the legs out from under Donald Trump's new announced plan for Stargate. I'm Michael Popok. You're here on Legal AF. It's Financial Markets Monday. And now I'm going to tell you what you should be keeping you up at night, not TikTok, Deepseek. Let's dive right in. So look, Donald Trump decided he was going to make a major bet in his administration on a number of industries that supported him, let's say bought his candidacy while he was running for office. One of them is artificial intelligence and the tech bros. Those are the white men that run tech companies, and in cryptocurrency, which is sort of related as a technology-driven digital asset. So he had this huge press conference. I'm going to show you a clip in a minute. A huge press conference about 72 hours, 4 days ago, in which Donald Trump announced with much fanfare $500 billion ultimate investment by SoftBank and OpenAI. These are all companies here. Well, SoftBank's not here. Into an Oracle and Microsoft into AI infrastructure. Now, in order to have artificial intelligence, it used to require huge investments of electric power and energy in order to run the supercomputers that are necessary and the chips that are necessary to generate artificial intelligence. Okay? And that we're seeing artificial intelligence, of course, in everything now. You see it in ChatGPT, you see it in OpenAI. It powers a lot of your life right now. Google has it. Meta has it. Everybody's got an assistant, a Gemini assistant, this assistant helping you write your resumes, your contracts, your grocery lists, your wedding toasts, and everything in between. Okay, requires tremendous energy. In fact, they just signed a deal to fire up again 3 Mile Island, the nuclear power plant that melted down right in the 70s. Fire that back up in order to run the electricity needs of old-fashioned artificial intelligence. And it also needs a lot of computing power and things like that. Not for Deepseek. According to the Chinese, they were able to create the equivalent through programming and other ingenious methods to create the equivalent of all this artificial intelligence on the cheap with a $6 million investment, and they did it in 2 months. One of the things, we forced them to do this. Another backfire. We forced the Chinese into this. You know, what do they say? Inspiration, ingenuity is the mother of invention, or desperation is the mother of ingenuity. They were desperate in the Chinese markets because we denied them some high capacity chips, computer chips like from NVIDIA and other companies, because we didn't want them to use it for artificial intelligence and for their military. So they had to do more with less, with old chips and new programming to come up with their artificial intelligence. And they built it not with legacy software, legacy chips, but with new stuff. And they did it faster, cheaper, and better. And the markets are responding. They're responding by taking all of the old school legacy AI companies, like the ones at Stargate, also saw their stock plummet. That's one of the reactions we're seeing to week one of the Trump administration. As I said before, if this was a Broadway show based on these reviews, it would have already closed. That's how bad it's been. So Deepseek is the, sort of the troll of the Chinese against Donald Trump's Stargate. He goes, Stargate, $500 million. Let me actually show you the video. You tell me if this guy's not already out of gas 1 week into his administration. He seems downright bored by an announcement of something that he thinks is going to be the next space program. Let's play the clip.
Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it. in the future, a new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately.
Okay, so an out-of-gas, already exhausted Donald Trump apparently just announced this investment. Chinese sort of sat there going, we have a great idea. Why don't we announce that Deepseek has done it all better, faster, cheaper, more efficiently than any of this. Doesn't need the electricity, doesn't need the power grid, doesn't need the electricians, doesn't need the data centers. That's a big thing in America right now, building data centers. I mean, I know people that are in the industry. I just talked to a former law partner of mine whose son works for a major data center building company. That's all they do. They go out and build data centers in the middle of Texas and Arizona and all in Nevada and all these arid land places, trying to hook it up to some sort of cheap or cheaper energy grid, because this takes a lot of energy. Picture just football fields and shopping malls filled with computers that need to be cooled, that need electricity in order to generate the computing power to run artificial intelligence. That's why the New York Times just did an article about a month ago about if your children don't want to go into computer programming or finances or the traditional careers, send them in to become electricians, because we're going to need electricians because of the old school AI infrastructure. That's what all of these companies are. And so we're making all the investment in that while the Chinese and the Chinese government are investing in cheaper, more efficient ways to kick our ass. As I said at the top of the hot take, the number one app right now in the App Store is Deepseek. Okay? It's got a lot of Chinese letters on it when you look at it. Be careful about downloading it. If we're worried about TikTok turning over its data over to the Chinese, remember, anything in China, any company in China, startup or otherwise, has to provide all of its information and data collected from its customers to the Chinese government without any hesitation on a moment's notice. That is a law in China. So be careful on the DeepSeek. But it certainly has sent the markets crashing for chip manufacturers like NVIDIA, for companies in America like OpenAI, because if I didn't mention it before, DeepSeek is an open platform. They're not, they're updating it. They're getting money in their own ways, but people can take it and use it and help develop and build it in an open, not closed way. So you've got OpenAI, the number one app, and a troll of Donald Trump, all in the first 48 hours or 72 hours of his administration. Keep an eye on DeepSeek and the announcement by the Chinese. That was a payback against Donald Trump for the 25% tariff threat, for the continued denial of chips and other technology to China. And this is how they're going to pay Donald Trump back, by embarrassing him on the world financial market stage. We're going to continue to follow it all right here on Legal AF. I'm going to use my Wall Street and technology background to talk to you about these issues that are important. DeepSeek beats Stargate. That's the takeaway from this particular hot take, and what it means for the future of the American economy. Donald Trump, of course, so warped in his policy making because he's got his own financial entanglements with all of these same actors, with his own companies invested in these places. He's making decisions based on his own pocketbook and that of his families, not you and me, and not what's right for our national economy. Keep an eye on that warped policy impact on our daily pocketbooks. I'll do it for you here. Legal AF. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button. So until my next Legal AF contribution, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.